and welcome to Money Life. This is Sucheta Dilal. For the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about the problems that we face with Know Your Customer updation. I'm going to talk a little more about it this time. How when banks freeze your money, your own savings, which are kept in trust with them, it unleashes harassment and ends up treating us like criminals. Now, those of us who live in urban India are so angry about it, especially the manner in which we've been treated during this last year of the COVID pandemic. But imagine my horror and surprise at receiving an email from the economist John Dress, who talks about what is happening to the poor in rural areas in Jharkhand, where he works, and then, as I found out, other parts of the country. Now, listen to what he says. What is a worker supposed to do when he or she is told, after hours of queuing in an overcrowded bank, that your account has been closed from the back end? Now move on, please. This is what he says. This is happening to the poor. There aren't bank branches around every corner with an ATM. These are people with Jan Dhan accounts, and their agony is much, much worse than us. Now, many of you who have watched this video blog know that we had a memorandum, we prepared a memorandum which we have submitted to the Governor of the Reserve Bank of India. We followed this up by doing a summary which we made into a change.org petition which has over 10,000 signatures. I'm going to have both those in the comments to this video blog, and those of you who are watching for the first time understand and sympathize with it. Please go click on it, 2 clicks to show your solidarity with the change.org petition. That's all it takes. Spread the word and do it. Now, we are going to talk about not us the privileged, but what is happening to the people in rural India. We've talked about KYC. I'm not going to go into details again, except to say that we are all in favor of Know Your Customer norms. That's not what we are against. Our only point is that you don't open an account without checking KYC. So don't harass us to the point that we are treated like criminals and our savings are virtually impounded, because that's what it means, it's financial debt, by suddenly closing our accounts. That kind of untold harassment because of bad and faulty policies which we have outlined in the memorandum is what we are protesting about. The governor has assured me that he has sent our memorandum to the appropriate department, but it is our job as the largest stakeholders to keep bringing various new facts to his attention. So let's look at what the economist John Dress says about Jharkhand. In 2018, John Dress and his colleague wrote to two former RBI governors. So one of them is Governor Urjit Patel, alerting him to the issues faced by Jan Dhan holders in Jharkhand. That letter was acknowledged, nothing happened. In 2019, they wrote to an executive director of the RBI, followed it up, they've had conversations, and they have sent more information. Nothing really has changed. In between, there was a long delayed Supreme Court judgment on Aadhaar, which resolved some of our issues as urban Indians, because mandatory linking of your Aadhaar to bank account was stopped by the Supreme Court, but it made no difference to people in rural India. Now, what the economist says is, and he wrote about this in the Indian Express, he says there's a deep crisis in the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act scheme of 2018. And this, he says, is manifested. You remember, they said open a Jan Dhan account and all state benefits will go directly be credited into the accounts of people who are beneficiaries and work under the NREGA scheme. Now, he says this is the deep crisis and issues are manifested in the form of rejected payments, delayed payments, diverted payments, and locked payments. Diversion because of wrong Aadhaar accounts, a lot of it due to jugaad, where people had multiple fingerprints. We are not going to go into it. We're going to stick to the last bit, which is locked accounts. He also describes how accounts are not merely frozen because of KYC, but they are closed altogether. Why? For want of eKYC. Now, you remember when Jan Dhan was started with great fanfare, we were told that Jan Dhan was compulsory for NREGA workers and it was being opened in minutes, chutki mein, and the numbers were put up by all banks. Now turns out that just opening the account wasn't enough. At that time, they didn't go into details. Every account holder had to follow it up with eKYC, which is not a bad thing, because the manner in which enrollment was done in order to show the Prime Minister the numbers was scandalous. But the minute you tell people that your Aadhaar is a problem, or there's a difference between various identification, then for rural and poor Indians who never had an identity in the first place, if you remember, the whole Nandan Nilekani premise for having Aadhaar was, look at those poor Indians, they have absolutely no identity, so I'm giving them an Aadhaar. Now, what you hear here is an Aadhaar is not enough. The biometric KYC has to be done, which when it comes to poor Indians who are working in the fields, it means fingerprints are not readable, sometimes iris scanners are not available, they're more expensive, and they have to start getting other kind of identification proof to prove who they are. So account is opened, money that is due to them because they have worked for it is supposed to come, but it's not coming because the account has been blocked. Now that the Prime Minister has moved on, accounts are opened, it's on the government website, nobody cares what happens to people who are suffering and reeling from the trauma of not getting their benefits. In fact, most accounts were opened without biometric authentication, which is what should have happened in the first place. Then they talk about seeding Aadhaar numbers from cards. At that time, what they do, use second-hand information, and they now have started looking at it one by one, and by the dozens. The first thing the banks do is shut it down. Your money is accrued, but shut it down until you prove that you are the person you are and that you're able to do your KYC. It was, as Georges calls it, the ultimatum method. I'm closing your account, it's up to you. You want your money, you run from pillar to post. Until then, all your accounts are blocked en masse. Problem was compounded by inconsistencies between the Aadhaar database, the bank database, and in some cases people had to go and get a PAN number. Isn't it ridiculous? People who had really no income we're talking about had to get a PAN number as an additional identification which could be shown to the bank, or some kind of address proof. At every step, he says, bank accounts were frozen with abandoned by banks. For the poor, this not only meant savings were blocked, but denial of rations, denial of subsidies, all kinds of benefits that are constantly announced. During the pandemic, a host of benefits have been announced, but if your account doesn't work, this government has been insisting that we will only put money in your account. Accountability for whether things are working or not is not even with the regulator. Nobody cares. And grievance redress, as I point out, is non-existent for us, urban Indians, educated people, people with access. So imagine what happens to rural populations without a passbook, without a bank branch anywhere in sight, where you are forced to operate only through a banking correspondent, which means that you may not even possibly get a receipt. Now, perhaps the biggest injustice that has been done in this domain is the freezing of accounts of elderly, widowed and disabled people for want of KYC or eKYC, is what he tells us. And he has worked extensively in Jharkhand for decades. Only we can imagine what the agony is. We have suffered with GST portals, MCA 21. Ask any chartered accountant around you, if you're a business person, you know the harassment they go through to upload because things don't work. So I think we can just imagine. And remember, in rural India, connectivity is not what happens here with us urban people. This is not limited to Jharkhand. So when I sent a message to Meena Seshu, who's a very well-known activist who works in Sangli and is the founder of Sangram, an NGO that works with at empowering sex workers, she responded instantly saying the kind of problems people had over there. So she says these women who are obviously out of work in a lockdown had been promised 5,000 for 3 months, 2,500 per month additionally if they had children. But again, into their bank accounts, which are Jandan based, which have been frozen for want of KYC. She also had another dimension, which is that some of them have accounts in government banks which are going through the hell of merger, which means, IFSC codes have changed and they are running around from pillar to post until they can get additional identification and go through their biometrics and get their accounts slowly, one by one, reactivated. There is nothing they can do. So there's a pandemic, the government has announced benefits. Benefits don't reach people because their accounts are locked down. This is real India. This is the reality of India, which we don't know. Who's accountable? Nobody. Governor Urjit Patel may have left his job feeling harassed with issues about bad loans, but you have 8 lakh crore plus of bad loans, and these poor people, nobody cares, nobody listens. The RBI hasn't even got back. Not even when the person writing and representing them is a very, very well-known economist. So will our petition do any better if the government and the RBI governors from 2018, 18, 19, 20, 21, 4 years, if they have not listened to representatives, economists whom they consult, otherwise will our petition fare any better? Like I said, the governor has said that he's having it examined. There are larger issues, there are more case studies, we've added them. We now need to add our voices, okay? Just count number of bad loans, 8 lakh crores even today. Number of bank accounts in hundreds of millions. How many people have signed the change.org petition? Just 10,000. Let's get numbers on the board. Let's tell the governor that this hurts us. It hurts people, rural Indians even more. Let's get this fixed. Please join us to do it. If you agree and you like what you hear, please spread the word and send the message, share the petition. Thank you.